Epicurus is considered to be among the major influences in the science of philosophy. He is well known in history for his belief in hedonism. Hedonism is the pursuit of pleasure and happiness. He is also well known for his theory on atomism. Atomism is the theory that all objects in the universe are composed of very small, indestructible elements called atoms. Epicurus's major theory in philosophy was that the most pleasant life is one where we abstain from unnecessary desires and achieve inner tranquility, also known as ataraxia. Epicurus's background. Epicurus began his journey on an Athenian settlement called Samos, an island off the Aegean Peninsula. He studied the philosophies of Democritus, Plato, and Aristotle in Athens. After his studies, he traveled back to Athens and opened a school called the Pleasure Garden, where he could instruct his followers on his beliefs. The Pleasure Garden is Epicurus' school where everyone could be free to express their belief without being judged by humans or gods. This was a place where everyone could share their philosophy. It's a place of freedom, and the goal was for everyone to achieve the highest level of happiness possible on this world. Epicurus was a major figure in the history of science, philosophy, and art. He put forward the scientific view of atomism, and he argued that we should put forth our experiences on evidence and logic. He is also famous for the theory of hedonism. Now let's talk about Epicurus' theories and beliefs. Going back to what I said before, one of the major theories Epicurus preached was the most pleasant life is one where we abstain from unnecessary desires and achieve inner tranquility. Epicurus says that we should abstain from worldly desires like food, drink, and sex. Instead, we should aim for things that will prevent future struggles and bring happiness. This leads me to his second theory of happiness. Epicurus believed that in order to prevent ourselves from unnecessary pleasures that would lead to pain in the future, we must cultivate a mindset in which there is no pain. This theory of his was called the neutral state of mind, also known as peace of mind or emptiness of soul. This theory of Epicurus is quite similar to Buddha's Eightfold Path. Epicurus claimed that there are two self-imposed beliefs that drag our lives down: the belief that the gods will punish us for our sins, and the fear of death. Epicurus mentions that these two beliefs is what causes fear and pain in our minds. In his mind, he believes that death is nothing to worry about, because death is meaningless to the living because they're living, and meaningless to the death because they are dead. What he means in this quote is that death is nothing to worry for, because after you die there's nothing. You become nothing. Epicurus didn't believe in the afterlife, so he really didn't care about death. Epicurus came up with his theory on necessary and unnecessary desires. Unnecessary desires are those that bring short-term happiness but long-term pain, such as alcohol and drugs. Necessary desires are those which produce happiness, such as getting rid of pain or a state of inner tranquility. Epicurus believed that in order to produce true pleasure and happiness, you would have to go through some type of pain. It is quite similar to the saying, with pain and suffer comes happiness. Epicurus said that wisdom is needed in order to see which pleasures are really going to make one happy, and which pains are necessary to produce pleasure. Here are some of Epicurus's famous quotes. Our thoughts on Epicurus's philosophies. We believe that Epicurus's views on true happiness were a little too extreme and not very sensible. The pleasures in life, unnecessary or not, are to be enjoyed, and they are the things that actually bring happiness in life. As there is a famous saying, simple pleasures are life's greatest treasures. Epicurus also mentions that happiness is an end goal in life, and that you base your happiness off previous experiences. In our opinion, life is something that you should experience in the moment. If you were happy at one moment, but then happier a day later, you should not have any regrets. Instead, you should continue to live life in the moment and not as an end goal on your deathbed. Finally, to sum up Epicurus's philosophies. Epicurus believes that all acts in life should be done in order to achieve the most pleasant life possible in this world. He also believes that false harms will harm you and that they produce unnecessary pain. Desires are needed and not wanted. Necessary desires are desires that help our well-being, for example, being free of pain and sorrow. Unnecessary desires include stuff like a new car or a PlayStation or alcohol. They make us happy, but they are not needed, and if you don't have them, you may feel a longing feeling or a feeling of emptiness. The goal in life is not to be happy as much as it is to be free of pain. Happiness can be achieved by bonding with others. Other people can inspire the drive for pursuit of happiness.